The 1996 Texaco Havoline 200 at Road America was the 14th round on the kart calendar. This 50-lap race around one of the greatest tracks that America has to offer, such a historic venue, was definitely not short of action, as we would see a little bit of everything in this one, with some wild wrecks, a battle of attrition, and some great racing on track. Robbie Gordon made headlines this week as he announced that he was leaving the kart series to go to the NASCAR Winston Cup Series full-time in 1997. Rookie Alex Zanardi was on pole with Gilles de Ferran alongside him on the front row as that absolutely sick Toyota Supra pace car pulls off and the field comes up the hill looking for the green flag.
A 195-mile-an-hour start funneling down into a very quick right-hander at turn one. From overhead, look at the jammed parking lots. Crowds on the hillside. The field 26 strong has one more turn, and then they will make the traditional run to an uphill start. They will not be able to see the flag stand until they crest the hill. We will be up in the rev range, reaching close to 200 miles an hour before the action begins at turn one. Look at that crowd on hand here today at Elkhart Lake.
Forget the crowd, look at the crowd on the track. Look how they're bunched up. This is going to be a great, oh, what a great looking start there.
Zanardi in red, Gilles de Ferran in yellow, and the crowd is on its feet as we get underway. De Ferran with the early lead as he comes alongside of Zanardi.
He's going to try around the outside. He went down around the outside.
Did he come away with it? Not yet.
They're still side by side. Look at that. Oh! Oh!
Zanardi and De Ferran touch. De Ferran is headed for the gravel. Now can he get out?
Oh, the same thing that happened to him at the start. I mean, he made the mistake at Mid-Ohio, but oh.
Gilles de Ferran, what a tremendous twist of fate. A week ago at Mid-Ohio, he ran into the back of Mauricio Gugelmin and went straight off. And there is Jan Magnussen sitting in for Emerson Fittipaldi in the Hogan Penske car.
And he's bumped that front wheel. See that left front on your screen? It's the suspension's all bent. Look at this. I tell you, Zanardi came over. De Ferran had the spot. Zanardi pinched him over there. That, I'm afraid, was Zanardi's fault there.
I was looking further back in the pack to see if we could see what happened to Magnussen, but I could not see it. And we have a full course yellow. The flags are waving from the flag stand. And there is Gilles de Ferran. What could be going through his mind now?
A full course caution would come out almost immediately as Alex Zanardi got into Gilles de Ferran as the two were racing side by side for the lead. That was definitely Zanardi's fault. Did not leave Gilles de Ferran enough space there. This would put de Ferran out of the race, and Zanardi it did end up going off the track as well, and this would hand control of the race to the Newman-Haas duo of Christian Fittipaldi and Michael Andretti. Contact was also made deeper in the field as Jan Magnussen, who was filling in for the injured Emerson Fittipaldi, ended up making contact with Bobby Rahal, damaging his suspension and putting him off into the gravel.
Let's watch now as the cars enter the first corner, 3 wide in some cases, and it's on this run down to turn 3 that Gilles de Ferran and Alex Zanardi made contact. There goes Zanardi off on the grass. Straight ahead into the gravel goes de Ferran, followed by Jan Magnussen, who made contact with someone else's car. You ride with Christian Fittipaldi.
Oh, Michael gets very sideways. That's what gives Christian the run on him down through that corner. He took that opportunity, slid through here. He's got to be loving this. He went from 4th and oh, he got it sideways there. Did you see that car jump out? That usually means that the tires weren't up to temperature.
No action was taken against Alex Zanardi here for this, and Christian Fittipaldi would lead the field back to green on lap number 5.
We anticipate a green flag, and we have it. Christian Fittipaldi and Michael Andretti lead the field down toward turn 1. Running first and second, the Newman-Haas team that leads all other teams with 5 wins here. Michael will challenge Christian into 1.
He tried off hard, but look, he's had to go to the inside of the track there to block Big Mo. Don't forget, that's 3 Fords, and it looked like Brian Hurtis slid through, and some more guys are off.
Looks like Juan Fangio II and Max Papis are off.
That's turn 1. Those are 2 Toyota-powered cars. Looks like Christian's pulling out. Big Mo has gone by. Michael Andretti, he's challenging down there.
This is into turn 5. There's a dip in the racetrack right in the middle of the braking area. Whoa, and Robbie Gordon has to take to the dirt.
You know what you can tell is going on here? They're battling for a championship. A lot of guys don't have points at stake, so they're going out for an all-out win or for a good result. Look at Christian, he's pulling away.
On this restart, Max Papis and Juan Fangio II would find trouble in turn number 1. Both went off the track but would rejoin without any major incidents. Just a couple laps later though, on lap 8, the second full course caution of the day would come out when Paul Tracy found himself stuck in the gravel. He needed some assistance getting out of there from the safety team, but he would continue in the race.
You see him just coming down there on the inside. He's already a little sideways. He tried to get in. It looks like Parker Johnstone there, and he just locked up. He wasn't even close enough. Lost it. He just spun off. That was just a mistake.
With it still being so early in the race, a lot of the leaders stayed out on the track, as the goal is to make this race on only 2 pit stops, and with these long cautions in the beginning of the race, it was becoming very doable, and not having to worry about fuel mileage, as so many Road America races in the past have come down to. But Alex Zanardi did take an opportunity to come down pit road to change tires, as he did have some damage on one of his wheels from that contact with Gilles de Ferran, but overall his car was still okay as there was no suspension or toe damage. Christian Fittipaldi would lead the field back to green on lap number 11.
Over the rise they come, the green flag waves, and we are underway once again. Turn 1 they go.
And it looked like Michael had a slow restart. He dropped back. Brian Herta passed him for 3rd spot. Michael's now in 4th spot.
He definitely slowed just past the pit entrance, and Herta went rocketing by.
That usually indicates that he had a gear problem, like he might have missed a gear. It just takes, they lose a little bit of that momentum, and they've gotten back up, or he had the valve dump off. He's dropping back a little bit. Seems to be okay here.
He has Bobby Rahal behind him. There is Rahal's camera looking ahead to Michael Andretti in 4th.
If you're not new to my channel and you see my 1995 Indy 500 video, some of you might be wondering, will there be a penalty on Christian Fittipaldi for passing the pace car before it hit the entrance to pit road? And the simple answer to that is no. This was perfectly okay, as the Indy 500 at that time was sanctioned by USAC, so it had its own unique set of rules. Things were about to get wild and crazy, as on lap 14, during a commercial break, Andre Ribeiro shoved Greg Moore off the track coming into Canada Corner, and Greg Moore took this wild ride. But things would get even more bizarre, as the yellow flag would come out and Davy Jones would end up on his lid.
Now let's take a look at what happened. This is Greg Moore's.
They're coming down to the fastest part of the track. You'll see him in the Canada Corner. Look in the back of your screen. He's in there. He tried to get around Ribeiro on the outside. I don't know if he touched, but he got on the grass. Oh, he just missed him. Just missed Ribeiro. Look at that. And then there, unbelievable. Look at this. Upside. Oh my gosh, that's Davy Jones upside down. How did you get upside down?
He is under the bridge, up the hill from Canada Corner at turn 13. Now the report from the corner is that he is talking to the corner workers. You can see him moving around, but he is pinned under that car, it appears.
We don't know what's going on, but they've got to get somebody there with a fire extinguisher, because they could be dripping out. They seem to be calm. No fluids are coming out. He just seems to be moving the tires where I think Davey, I don't know, he must have, see, he's moving right there by his foot, in the lower left. There's Greg Moore. He's obviously okay.
Greg Moore was obviously upset with Andre Ribeiro here, and he stood at the side of the track and waited for him to come back around. Unfortunately, we didn't see that exact moment as the broadcast was showing a replay, but word on the street is that Greg Moore shook his fist at him, and even other drivers in the race behind this put 100% of the blame on Andre Ribeiro for shoving Greg Moore off the track in this spot. But even a more bizarre thing with Davy Jones, as he rounded Canada Corner, he got sideways, got into the wall, and there's a bridge there that is no longer there, that has since been removed since 1996, and under the bridge there's tires that are all piled up. He hit the tires and essentially just slow rolled the car over onto its lid, and unfortunately there was no replay of this.
Still shaking his head. Now watch the back of your screen. There's Moore right out on the edge.
He tries to get by. They made a darty move there. Couldn't tell if that was contact or if it was just his rear tire. Look, he's got a wheelie going there. He got it up. He must have flattened that tire. Now everybody behind there can't even see what's going on.
All they know is there is trouble ahead, but Moore got the car stopped safely in the gravel trap.
Thankfully, both drivers involved in these two incidents were okay, as you could clearly see that Greg Moore was okay, but definitely upset, and Davy Jones was okay inside of his car. This would be the first time we would see the leaders hit pit road, and Michael Andretti was able to get out ahead of his teammate Christian Fittipaldi. However, the running order was shaken up a bit, and Alex Zanardi, who pitted earlier in the race, would cycle to the lead, with PJ Jones, Max Papis, and Al Unser Jr. also staying out, so the first car off pit road, Michael Andretti, would restart in the 5th spot.
Well, it certainly led to an interesting leaderboard as the pit stops continue and we get set to go green. Zanardi back up front with PJ Jones in Dan Gurney's All-American Racers Eagle Mark V just behind him. We are green once again.
And look at that on the inside. Al Jr., Michael, Christian Fittipaldi, who lost that lead under the pit stop. He won't be very happy about that.
Keep in mind, all of this has serious implications for the points championship as you watch Paul Tracy making, gosh, I'm losing count, 4 pit stops to this point.
I think he's done more pit stops almost than laps. He's been in there a lot. I think he's way down in 23rd spot. Look at this on board. Christian's taking a look to get inside of his teammate. Oh, they go in there. They're not going to give up. Side by side. But Christian's got him. That was a good piece of driving on both guys' part there. That was as close a racing as you're going to get, but Christian got through it clean.
That moves Christian up into the 3rd spot and drops Michael Andretti to 4th as the field comes streaming down the hill.
This green flag run would also be short-lived in only 3 laps, as Andre Ribeiro managed to take out both Pac West cars at the exit of Canada Corner.
And what happened, look at this. Now he comes down. That's Mark Blundell on the inside. Tries to go inside, makes contact slightly, runs a little wide. Oh, and Mauricio tried to take advantage of it and got up the inside of Ribeiro, clipped him, and ran over and hit his teammate Blundell. All because of that. Interesting, last year, Mauricio and I went out together. We made contact at turn 1 when he spun there. I don't think I want to be a teammate.
Let's
on board with Ribeiro was a little slow out of the kink. Blundell dives down the inside, gets through okay, runs a little wide. Little contact, nothing big, accelerates. Oh, and there Mauricio comes into vision there where he clipped across the front of Ribeiro. He was taking advantage of both there, going slow and tight through here. Now look, Mauricio tried to dive up the inside. These guys look like they maybe made just a little, yeah, you just saw it move the front of his car, of Ribeiro's car, the second car. Mauricio tries to take advantage. Ribeiro comes back, clips him. Boy, he almost got him up on the air a little bit there. Spun him around. What a day we are having.
Another incident of wheel-to-wheel contact, and that means someone goes up in the air. Here's the view from Blundell's car once again as they're beginning to climb the hill. Here comes his teammate across his bows, and bang.
And Blundell had to be thinking, where did he come from? I didn't pass him. I was in front of him. I just passed Ribeiro.
So you definitely got to let me know down in the comments how you feel about Andre Ribeiro in this one, as he definitely did not make a lot of friends on this day. Also, this accident was a little bit similar to that Scott Dixon and Will Power accident that happened in the exact same spot during practice for this year's race at Road America. As Scott Dixon did not see Will Power coming, Andre Ribeiro claims he did not see Mauricio Gugelmin coming. This yellow flag would shake up the running order once again, as it would put Al Unser Jr. in the lead for the restart. As this accident was happening, Alex Zanardi darted for pit road, but he did not make it before pit road was closed, so that would result in a penalty. But fortunately for him, it was only start at the tail end of the field on the restart, as he did not have to do a stop and go or drive through penalty.
The green flag waves as Al Unser Jr. leads the field over the brow and across the start-finish line. Good to see little Al out front.
He hasn't been out there a lot this year, and I know he's got to be pumped up right now. He's going to be driving that thing awful hard. But the guy that also has got to be worried about the situation is Jimmy Vasser, who's back there in 11th spot. He's got to know that little Al's up in front. That championship is slipping away from him at the moment.
Only the third race this year that Al Unser Jr. has led. Of course, he has not scored a victory, but he remains in second place, and at this juncture in position to take the lead in the points championship. Parker Johnstone going down the inside of Scott Pruitt. Working the throttle through turn 6. Downhill run now through Hurry Downs.
This would kick off the longest green flag run of the entire race of 13 laps, as up to this point, the longest green flag run was only 4 laps on 2 different occasions. I was honestly really surprised that a full course caution did not come out 2 laps after the restart, as PJ Jones had transmission issues and came to a stop on one of the fastest parts of the racetrack right before the kink, and he would have to retire the car. But I gotta give a lot of credit to the officials. They somehow were able to get out there and clear that car away without throwing a full course caution, which is pretty impressive because that's in a very dangerous spot. On lap 34, all 3 of the leaders who were running close together, Unser Jr., Christian Fittipaldi, and Michael Andretti, would hit pit road together, as well as the majority of the rest of the field behind them, as this was a chaotic and wild green flag pit stop with a lot of close calls.
There they go. They're in the pits.
We go.
That's Christian right in front of them. So Christian will get in first. Michael will get there.
Marty Reed is in the Newman Haas pits.
And the thing that's going to be interesting is they are making absolutely no changes to Christian's car, but they may make a wing adjustment on Michael. He called in and said that he was going to, he had a push problem and he wanted to, but yes, so they're putting a full turn in the left front of the wing. Now it's a race to see who's going to get out first. Jan, they're on their way.
And Unser Jr. has all 4 tires. He's just waiting for the last bit of fuel. 14.79 seconds. Marty, what's going on down there?
Michael almost got hit going out of the pits. Vassar and Pruitt, all 3 came together. It was very close. I don't think anybody touched, but it was a wild moment.
Michael gets out at 14.2, Christian 15.3. They leave essentially together.
Look at that.
Down is Vassar. What a moment.
Oh, I'm telling you, that was close. And that's a very wide pit down there. They had like almost 3 abreast through there. Oh, I wonder how Michael's heart is right now.
A few laps later, the final full course caution of the race would come out when Adrian Fernandez lost it by himself in Canada Corner and got stuck in the gravel trap. He would continue in the race, but obviously needed a little help from the safety team as they lifted his car out of the sand trap and got him back onto the track and underway.
He just lost it. He just spun it around going in there. That was all down to him. The track might be a little slippery there, but
at the conclusion of this yellow flag, the lead would cycle back around to Unser Jr., followed by Christian Fittipaldi and Michael Andretti, as the race would restart with less than 10 laps to go.
As we take the green with a restart on lap 41, 9 laps remaining here at Road America. There you see Alex Zanardi going inside Bobby Rahal.
I don't know how he can complain about that stop. Look where he is. He's got fresh tires and fuel. And you know if he just pitted right now, he's got plenty of fuel. He's got that thing turned up.
These views from high overhead are from the new Miller Eagle airplane. Innovative new way Miller Brewing is testing, giving fans aerial views of auto races and other sporting events. Look at that, a Cessna Skymaster. And a great shot of Road America. Ooh, Robbie Gordon has turned it around.
That's the corner right before the carousel. He's obviously spun it. Watch this. He'll spin it around there again. Stop it. Now try to keep the engine going, and away we go.
Don't be standing behind him in that gravel. And he drops the clutch and takes off into the carousel.
Robbie Gordon found himself in trouble on this restart as he was already having a rough day as the alternator failed in that car earlier in the race, and Robbie Gordon was visibly upset at this as he was in 4th place at the time when the alternator issue came about, and to show his displeasure he was purposely banging this car off the rev limiter in 1st gear in the pits, and that also caused some engine damage, as you can listen to his car go down the front straightaway here. It was definitely not one of Robbie Gordon's greatest moments, as we all know some of the crazy stuff he's done and said throughout his career.
Look at the points if the race ended now. A tie between Jimmy Vassar and Al Unser Jr., with Christian Fittipaldi in 3rd spot and Alex Zanardi 4th.
I'll tell you what, Christian Fittipaldi's been coming on strong. Listen to Robbie, he's going by there. His engine's sounding terrible there the way it's cutting out.
With 6 laps to go, a huge moment at the front of the field as Christian Fittipaldi, who was running in 2nd place, engine would expire just before Canada corner, and he would get out of the car and walk away as cars are blowing by him at nearly 200 miles an hour, as Christian was just kind of fearless. If you've seen the 97 Molson Indy Vancouver video on my channel, he literally jumped out of his car in that race while there was cars coming right at him. And even here, he kind of does a similar thing. He just jumps out, and then he decides to run across the active racetrack, which is absolutely insane. And the kart officials cannot be thrilled with that, as that was just absolutely reckless and dangerous. Especially at literally one of the fastest spots on the entire track. Christian would make it to the inside of Canada corner, where there are some safety workers working on that corner, as they told him to get over the wall, and he just kind of ended up chilling here on the wall until the end of the race. Thankfully, no major issues or yellow flags came out from the Christian Fittipaldi situation, and his car was in a safe spot where it was not really at a risk to be struck. Unser Jr. was holding Michael Andretti at bay, managing the gap, and it looked like he firmly had this race in hand, but the last lap of this race would be one of the wildest in IndyCar history.
White flag, 4 miles to go for Unser Jr., who started the day in 15th and has come all the way to the front.
And I don't believe the history books will have to show. I don't think anybody started this IndyCar race from that far back, and looks like he's poised to win.
Well, with this victory, if in fact he takes it, Unser Jr. will clinch the IndyCar Nations Cup for drivers from the United States. So that much has been decided, but there are several championships still to come. And certainly we have a huge wreck.
Oh, I think that's Parker Johnstone. Parker Johnstone, I don't know what happened.
That is in fact Parker Johnstone.
That car. 2 cars upside, I don't know what's going on. 2 cars upside down in a day.
We understand there may have been contact with Scott Pruitt. Let's see if we can take another look at what happened as Unser Jr. continues on his way. This is on the run down to
No, that's Paul Tracy. That's Paul Tracy down the inside. Paul clips him right there at the back. Taps him. They're trying to get through. Slides it sideways. Looks pretty harmless. Whoa, and just dug in the grass. Just must have been enough of a lip there to catch it.
Meanwhile, Tracy, Unser Jr., that's the race leader, has lost the engine.
No.
Can you believe this?
Oh, no.
Within sight of the checkered
Just
flag.
coming up the hill.
There's Michael Andretti. There is the Penske pits. Roger Penske cannot believe what he is seeing, and perhaps neither can Michael Andretti, who takes the checkered flag of victory.
In sight of the flag. Unbelievable.
Now, corner workers are at Parker Johnstone's car. As you watch Unser Jr. and the smoking heap of his car, Parker Johnstone appears to be okay, and that is great news. What a dramatic finish to a day that has been full of the most amazing twists and turns as Michael Andretti comes through for his 34th career win, his 4th of the year, and the 5th of the year for Goodyear Tires. There is Parker Johnstone being worked on by the medics. You see he's talking to them. Here's the view from his car as Paul Tracy comes up from behind.
You can tell he's just checking his rear view mirror. He's on the inside a little bit. Oh, he gets tapped there, throws it sideways. Oh, what a ride. What a ride.
An absolutely insane final lap as Paul Tracy gave Parker Johnstone the chrome horn going into turn number 1. He got off in the grass, his car dug in, and he flipped viciously. Thankfully, he was all right. And as the broadcast was showing the replay of that, coming into Canada corner, Unser Jr.'s engine expires with only a few corners left. And Michael Andretti was able to get by and lead his one and only lap of the race, which was the most important one, the last one. And he would go to victory lane. He would also end up stopping in Canada corner to pick up his teammate Christian Fittipaldi and give him a ride back to the pit. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. This race was pretty wild. At one of IndyCar's best tracks, Road America. Such an iconic facility. If you like these types of IndyCar history videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I upload every week. And just do me a little favor and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this one. That's all for now. Hope to see you in my next one. Take care, everybody.